Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know the vibes, man. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you. I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. We got a special guest today, but before we let my man Caleb introduce himself, I'm gonna let you know real quick, man. Yeah, big manscape in the building. Father's Day coming around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Use code Brunson. Save 20% off, get the free shipping, and the free shipping I fought for that for y'all. See, I had to throw in the Randall today. You know what I mean? I had to throw in the Randall. Because sometimes I wish what would have happened if Randall would have had this type of protection we're going to talk about, man. Listen, man, without further ado, man, my guy Caleb in the building. We're going to be talking about offensive line work today. You know what I'm saying? Let them know where you're from. Let them know where they can find you. Let them know your credentials. Let them know who you've been around. It's impressive. He knows some things. Let them know, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, my name is Caleb Brand. I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina, man. I played college ball at Charleston Southern University. That's actually the coaching staff that's currently at Coastal Carolina right now. So the whole entire coaching staff, the head coach and everything, who was at Charleston Southern. We actually packed them boys out before he left and went there for that bag. We haven't got that tail real quick before he went over there, but shout out to Coastal. That's a good program, you know. I played college ball. I played center and guard. I played the whole entire middle three. In high school, I actually played tackle. I was an undersized tackle, so I know the whole entire five across the line. I've been able to work out with several good offensive linemen, several NFL combine type of offensive linemen. I've been truly blessed to be around some greats. I had an amazing offensive line coach named Ronald Hudson. He was actually at Nevada for a while, then he was also at Penn State for a little minute, but he's truly one of them guys. He actually reminds me a lot of Stoutland. And
wow.
Some concepts and the way the things he wants. Yeah, he's truly one of them dudes. Like, I know if him and Stout was to get up, like, they would kind of have a lot of kind of things similar. It's around the same age, too, man, the style of football, because you could tell by the similarities and the way the O-lines play.
Right. Yeah, man. So, listen, before we get into, Cam Jurgens, I want to talk a lot about him today. What you think about this list? You tagged me on this on Twitter, man. And what you think about this? Because hold on though, because when we talk about Kelce, this is all I had. All I had is Kelce the one, Kelce the one, and I believe he the one because I see him every Sunday. But if he the one though, Dubb, why he four? I don't get it.
I'm gonna be honest. LB, and I mean I about cut you off. That's how real it is. Look, whoever my man up there, Ted, that is disrespectful. That is utterly, completely wrong. I mean, and it's beyond, okay, so the way I judge certain things, of course, we can go to accolades. Let's just get to the eye test. Yeah. And that's about, let's say, 15% of judgment. Let's say 15. Out of the 100%, let's say the eye test is 10, 15%. Jason Kelce is trashing all those just off the eye test alone. Off of the style of play, in my opinion, especially with explosion. A lot of people ain't striking like Jason Kelce, and that's just the truth of it. You see what I'm saying? And to have him fourth, which he probably might have more All-Pros and Pro Bowls than all of them put together, it's just kind of, you hear me? Like,
I didn't even think about it from that aspect.
And it's not like it's not like he's surviving off of old All Pros. Now he balled out last year. Like, he was just
right.
Like, he was just the one.
Like, literally, he almost retired on top. You know what I mean? If he would have retired.
Like I tell people, like, within respect, like, it's not many centers playing like him. It's not. Like, and it might not be one for a few years. I'm talking about in the whole entire league. I'm not talking about, like, there's another Kelce in other places. Jurgens might be the close thing to the next one.
That's crazy. So Creed Humphrey ain't even been around that long.
The people on the list ain't even got the resume.
So would you?
It's like putting who's a new guy that's decent, that's good. They're good.
Yeah. Like in terms of NBA, like saying Maxey is a top 3 shooting guard or something like that.
Yes. You feel me?
But
yes.
Maxey, okay, but Maxey has shown some things. Has Creed Humphrey showed these things though to be looked at like this?
He's nice. Jason Kelce's a Hall of Famer.
That's what it boils down to.
Listen. Jason Kelce's a guaranteed put on jacket. I'm not talking about because of his old play. I'm talking about the way he's currently playing. He's a gold jacket.
Right, and it's safe to say for me.
Real.
It's safe to say for me, like in the terms of like the first 3 years of his career. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering this right. The first 3 years of him being in Philadelphia, he wasn't looked at as like that guy. A lot of people were saying he was too small for the longest. Then he changed his style of play to be a top center later in his career. You know what I mean? Like the last 5 years or so, you could say that he's been one of them guys consistently.
Okay.
While everybody was saying he was undersized and stuff like that. But the Super Bowl put him over the top. I think they said, let's put the gold jacket on him immediately once he got this Super Bowl. And he's been getting better every year, if you ask me.
Jason Kelce is something different, man. He's one of them guys because Stoutland has his own little thing that I can tell you that he does. Offensive lineman is like defensive line. It's flavors. You know what I'm saying? There's different types of linemen. You got the earth movers. You got the twitchy, explosive ones like Kelce. You got the finesse ones. That's very not as physical like Tristan Wirfs or whatever from Buccaneers for Tampa Bay. He's not very physical. He's physical, but he's very where he needs to be, and his hips move very well. He's very athletic. It's different flavors. You know what I'm saying? Kelce was one of the few really explosive ones, but his problem used to be when he swing, he would miss. That's a lot of power coming behind it, but when he swing, he used to miss sometimes. Jurgens has the same problem. Like it's timing, it's little things like that. You know what I'm saying? And as a center, I personally believe center is one of the most undervalued positions in the whole entire NFL. I can back it up with facts, and I can tell you why and how.
Let's hear why. Let's hear why you think that. I'm glad you're here because a lot of people really undervalue the position, and a lot of people don't see how valuable the position is. Basically, that means the same thing, but it's just so much. It's a bad stigma. It's hardly any film on a lot of good offensive linemen. That's number one. So the guys like myself, it's hard for us to do breakdowns on it. You really need a guy that played in the trenches to understand the worth of this. So what will be one of your reasons for you saying that the center position is one of the most important pieces?
I'm gonna tell you why. Center, if we're going to value and like how much players should be paid, I would almost go quarterback, center, maybe tight end, and then the splash route. Like if I'm going to value and important into production, you see what I'm saying? I'm saying the center is that important because first of all, he has to know what's everybody doing. He has to know what all 5 offensive linemen are doing. He has to. He should kind of know what the quarterback's doing as well because he needs to know how long the protection needs to be. He needs to know where the blitz is coming. He has to know where the running back is going to be for the protection because the running back's always going to be in tune the O-line. So the center needs to know who the running back needs to get. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes the center is even telling the running back, hey, this is who you need to block. Hey, check. I see the safety shifting over. Hey, running back, this is who the guy you need to block now. Us 5, this is what we're doing. He has to make that in a 20-second span. He has to see that, be able to announce that, and say, hey, look, check this. All 5 people, we're going to change this and do this. That's half.
While the crowd is going crazy.
While the crowd is going crazy and you're a rookie, Jason Kelce, coming out of wherever you just came and you just trying to.
Yeah.
That's real. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, as fans, we tend not to be as patient. And we don't quite understand. Even myself, even with the position wide receiver and stuff, I'm offensive lineman. I can even get impatient with certain things. You see what I'm saying? There's certain things you think your job is your job, your job is your job. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But center, man, like, and then for him to have to snap the ball and get off and be able to get to the backers the way he do, Kelce was a good talent. Stoutland did an amazing job with Kelce. He did an amazing job. An amazing job.
So what would you say? Now, the Eagles have a bunch of really good offensive linemen that play in unison together. Like these guys are like a well-oiled machine. Now, how does it all work? You know, because when you think about Lane Johnson didn't give up a sack last year. You know who Jason Kelce is. We're going to talk about him forever. He's a Philadelphia legend.
I think
Jordan Mailata has developed at super light speed, and you got Landon Dickerson, who has the most upside out of anybody. So that right guard position to me pretty much seems plug and play. I mean, if you next to Kelce and you next to Lane Johnson, me or you will be fine right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So how is this offensive line this good and able to operate the way it does? In your opinion, just so effortlessly. Like this has got to be one of the best offensive lines in football. I think it's the best.
I'm gonna say 2 things: GM, and I would say Jeff Stoutland. And whether that's Jeff Stoutland and GM getting together and picking the offensive lineman, like I said, it's different flavors. Jeff Stoutland picked by the flavors. Landon Dickerson is the earth mover. Jordan Mailata is the earth mover with the pretty feet. Lane Johnson's a little bit more pretty. He moves well. He got great feet. You're not gonna get around Lane. He will move you, but Lane is very dependable. Very, very dependable. You see what I'm saying? It's different flavors. And Jeff Stoutland is able to look at a player and say, okay, in this system, this is what I need you to do. This is what you're good at. I'm going to make that I'm gonna make you so good at what you're good at till you're gonna be dominant at it. Landon Dickinson and Jordan Mailata is just moving people, completely moving people. Okay, in the offense, Jason Kelce, he's great at getting on the second and third level. Their center has to get on the second and third level. They love outside plays. They love their offensive linemen be able to get on the secondary. Jason Kelce's amazing at that. He's amazing at that. Now, with him being undersized, he probably struggled with some bigger guys at first. Now, that's maybe, maybe the good with the bad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
That's maybe, but you don't get centers better in open field than Jason Kelce. He's a second and third level magnet, and that's things that we underappreciate because that's the difference in a play being for 7 yards and 70. That's real. Like that's the big run. The big.
Yeah.
That's why I was about to get into the tight end play and how important, especially with us doing all these different type of options and outside zones and things, how important perimeter blocking is. How important perimeter blocking and how many times at the point of attack, the tight end is responsible for blocking the 9 technique, which is the outside backer, or the safety, which is pretty much the last guy, or the linebacker, which is pretty much you make that block. If everybody do the job, you make that block, it should be a positive play.
Interesting that you say, interesting that you say blocking is very important, and the GM is very important.
Yes.
Because when you talk about blocking, you bring in a bunch of wide receivers that could block. You could credit that to the GM. And when you bring up the GM, he's getting these pieces to all fit together, and he's working in unison with the offensive line coach. So, do you think this rushing attack got a little more deadly with some of the wide receivers that can now block on the perimeter with A.J. Brown and Zach Pascal?
We didn't listen. When I watched Philly's like very enticing. When I watched it on film last year, we left a lot out there. We left a lot of meat out there on the bone, and they know that. They know that certain plays should have hit. That should be like just one more, it should have hit.
Yeah,
just one more should have hit. Like one more guy just finish that block, that might be a touchdown. And plays like that, good teams are very good at being able to make them blocks consistently. That's why I look at the teams with good tight ends. Travis Kelce is an amazing blocker. George Kittle's an amazing blocker. Mark Andrews, I know the Ravens kind of had a down season last year because of all the injuries on Lamar Jackson, but usually he's an amazing blocker. You see what I'm saying now?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Point of attack, are you able to seal that guy off for sure? Once I get around that edge, is it green grass?
And you got guys like Kelce that are no ifs, ands, or buts. If he strike first, you most likely taken out of that play.
Yes, and that's huge. That's huge.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree because he automatically will give you a gap. You got somewhere to run if you run behind him 9 times out of 10. So what do you think about what the Philadelphia Eagles did in the draft? Now, we're going to talk about the second pick of this draft, number 51, I believe. Our guy, Cam Jurgens, was picked. Now, let me read some of this stuff, that the first thing that they're saying about Cam Jurgens. First of all, he's 6'3", 303 pounds, 10-inch hands. Does the hands matter in terms of center play?
I mean, okay, I would say grip strength matters more. I would say rather than size of hands. Of course, I mean, who wouldn't want – of course, the bigger the size of the hands, the better.
Right.
I guess for gripping, but I would more so say grip strength. Like once I get my hands on you, is it a lock? Is it a lock?
Okay.
That's
so out of a total possible 8, they got his prospect grade. This is NFL.com. Before the draft, I guess. They had his prospect grade at a 6.11, which is a good backup with the potential to develop into a starter. I think that's fair for anybody coming out of of college. Sub 540. That's what you're looking for from a good athletic center, a guy that can get you under sub 5. The bench 25. How important is that? Would you classify him as weak, or would you classify him as average?
Yeah, good. It's strong.
Okay.
It's stronger out there. It is stronger out there, but that's fine. You can play with that. You can play. Okay. The film will show more. I understand that side. That's cool. You see what I'm saying? Like, and the 25 is good enough for sure. Let's say it like that. It's good enough.
Okay. So
as long as the film is good, which is pretty decent, that 25 is enough.
Okay, makes sense then. Okay, so let me read his strengths to you, and I want to know how much it is you believe based upon the knowledge in the film that you have in the film that you watched. How much it is you believe to be his strengths? They say he's a 3-year starter who has made the calls up front. Do you see that in the film? You see that? Okay.
Actually, he's very well. I actually got some bullet points for that. Actually, he does that very well. He picks up on those. He picks up on games. He picks up on certain alerts, certain blitzes. He's very good at twist game. He's good at seeing it. He's very Of course you can't see because of communication.
Right.
I can hear it, but it's very obvious he knows what's going on.
Right.
The calls.
So he's identifying stunts and everything that's happening before.
Yes. Before
that's next level.
He's moving pretty. He does a decent job at that for sure.
That's next level right there. So quick hip roll into initial block at the point of attack.
That's that Kelce. That's why Kelce like him. Real talk. That's another thing that everybody don't have. And as an old line guy, that's the difference. Like when I cut on that film, when you come out them pat, like when you come off the ball, what does it look like? It looks like a car crash when Kelce hits you. When Kelce hits you, it looks like
it's pretty violent.
It's very violent. You see what I'm saying?
Don't let him get his hands on safety or smaller.
Oh, it's a wrap.
You know what I mean? You
can imagine what the 3 techniques feel like when he blocking back. I mean, Kelce's coming off the ball. That's why if he catch you, he catch you. Mm-hmm. Now, he's just a smaller guy naturally. That's what. And until the more skilled he got, he's learned how to play around that. You see what I'm saying? And
but I think his leverage is unstoppable though. If he gets you first, it's pretty much a wrap.
And it's a good pop. It's a real
exactly.
good pop.
Exactly. So he's gonna catch you off guard and knock you back a little bit, but you're gonna feel him. Yeah. Lateral quickness and athletic ability to climb and cut out of middle linebackers.
He gets to the second level pretty well.
Okay.
Second level pretty well. I have some things for it. I have some takeaways on that.
Okay. Hand strength. Okay, we can get into your takeaways as I go down this list if it meets anything you had. Oh no! So I'll read it again.
No. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead. You can read it again.
Okay, lateral quickness and athletic ability to climb and cut off middle linebackers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said great eyes for second and third level. Mm-hmm. Needs to come to balance more. Like, okay, same thing I said on the first bullet. I said swings very hard, but don't always connect clean. Like the last bullet point, like I was saying, with coming off the ball. He comes off the ball very well, but every time he don't connect, he swings. It's like a batter. He swings too hard, but sometimes he misses.
Okay, makes sense. Kelce had that same problem.
Kelce had that same problem.
Okay.
Guy, you're making your money off of just how physical you are. That's one thing that an O-line coach is gonna cut on the film and say, "Oh, I can work with that." So that's how he's making his money. Now, as you progress along in the NFL, you gotta clean that up. Same kind of thing with the second level thing. I said great double team to backer transition. That means on double team block, his eyes are always on the backer it needs to be. That isn't always happening for some reason. I think that's poor coaching. You should know to do that, but all linemen don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Great eyes for second and third level needs to come to balance. His problem, once again, he's trying to knock your head off. He needs to come to balance a little bit, not swing and miss on the second level.
Right. Okay. So he need to, he need to just settle in a little bit.
A little bit, but just settle in. That edge is what keep him there, though.
Right.
That edge is what make him.
So if he could control the aggression,
tame it.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Tame it a little bit.
So hand strength to clamp in and roll and ride it out. Hand strength to clamp in and ride it out.
Yeah. He's a physical guy. Like I said, hand strength is more important.
Right. You did talk about more of the grip than the actual strength.
Yeah, than the size.
Okay.
Of it, I would say. Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I was glad that you said stuff first and it's lining up to what the quote unquote experts are saying at the same time. Yeah. Right. So snap to step quickness for successful reach blocks. Snap to step quickness for successful reach blocks.
Kelce does that as well. He snatches his nose very well. He's quick off the ball. He's able to snap the ball and move quickly laterally. Does that mean if it's a 2? Well, not a 2 technique, boy. He's snatching a 2. He's a monster. But like a shade, like a 1, some maybe with a little tap. I mean, he's getting there. He's moving. And that means a lot once again because sometimes in offensive schemes, a lot of coaches will have to say, "Dang, do I have to put my guard to give you a little help before the guard gets to the backer?" Sometimes the backer alignment, the guard ain't got time to give you that help. So center, are you athletic enough to get there? Are you able to cut that off so that nose guard don't blow up the play? Are you able to cut them off?
Are you able to stand your ground at least? Which brings me to his next strength: plays with a strong core. Now we talk about the importance of that because once he settles in and sets in, he's real hard to move. And I'm talking about Kelce, and everybody mirrors this guy to Kelce. So if this guy plays with a strong core, once he gets his pop under control, he's going to pretty much be there. There's no moving him. You know what I mean? From the center position. So I like that. 2 hands with some pop into target. 2 hands with some pop into target in pass pro.
Yeah, I think he does good in pass pro. I think he's over aggressive a little bit. I think a good like he knows this, and I'm sure he's been coaching this. A good D lineman and over aggression. You don't want to get too over aggressive, but I think he's good at pass protecting.
Because they'll use that momentum against you.
Oh yeah. That is several things. Like I can get into like feet placement, hat placement, how much he has too much weight over, where his weight on his instep. Like it's more I can get into it. You see what I'm saying? But I feel like just the overall his pass.
Trust me. Once he gets some playing time and you do some real film on him, we really gonna see what he need to work on because we're gonna have to do this again. So the last one, which I think is important, fluidity that gives screen game. I'm sorry, fluidity that gives screen games a boost in space. This screen is smaller than the other one. So what this says to me is that he's getting out there in space similar to Kelce, which could be a good reason why. Yeah, so this all makes sense why the Philadelphia Eagles would, be interested in a guy like this. So we talk about a lot of his strengths. Now I'm going to just glaze through the weaknesses, and I want to hear your weaknesses. We're not going to go through them one by one. It's not that many. Size and overall mass fall below the mark. Can be too hurried and impatient getting into his block. Will overstep and land at unfavorable angles. Climbs to second level, require choppier steps for balance. Oversetting opens his backside edge to rushers. Short arms diminish his block redirection and recovery mode. Those are the weaknesses.
No, I don't like the redirection part. I mean, it's not the short arms. I mean, everything I already said. You've seen pretty much everything. Like
right, yeah, everything you said, which was the problem, are the weaknesses that they say. The only thing that I personally disagree with, now it's nothing that you said or nothing that the website said, obviously is correct. You guys are matching up perfectly. The prospect grade for me is 6.11.
That's a bad grade.
Right.
That's a bad grade because I now once again I wonder what they gave Tyler Linderbaum. What you gave the number one center, because it's not that far. It's not that far. And once again, it's different flavors. Tyler Linderbaum give me like the Lane Johnson of centers.
Yeah.
Well coached, very, very meticulous, and he's better day one. Jurgens is a highlight. Like he has the higher ceiling in my opinion.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like he's it's like Zion, like he's our I know
right.
But if Jurgens pan out, he has the ability to be. I'm not going to
good for a long time, like
10 years.
Right, I can respect the Kelce type career because he's been good for a long time. A lot of these guys they had on that list that we showed in the beginning of this episode has guys that just been popping on the scene, and to put those guys over Kelce is just ridiculous. If you got an old dog still performing, I mean, you gotta show him respect.
It's borderline. We shouldn't even address the list anymore. That's how.
Right. The list is asinine. It's really ridiculous.
It's Jason Kelce, and I understand PFF. Shout out to y'all boys. Y'all doing y'all thing.
Right.
But
just to put this in perspective, a 6.11 was a good backup with potential to develop into a starter. A 6.30. So where would you have him? We're gonna start from the top. The perfect prospect, Pro Bowl talent. Boom or bust potential, will eventually be a plus starter, or good backup with potential to develop into a starter. Where would you have him at?
It's definitely not good. I mean, we're saying a good backup now because we're impatient. Like, we're impatient people. So, okay, think of it like this. This is how I think of football. At one point in time, it wasn't really too many plug-and plays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The first year or two, a lot of people was working and trying to get up under their feet. You see what I'm saying? This thought of having day one Jamar Chases is just not happening too often. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, I think with the way the game is, more skilled players are going to, just because of the way the game is played. It's more so athleticism rather than grit than it used to be. You see what I'm saying? That's just the way the game is played. But as into like giving him, he's a starter for sure. He's a starter. If the center from Tyler Linderbaum, if he's a starter, I think Jurgens is a starter. It's just what do you like? Now, Jurgens can maybe cause certain troubles, because of the way he plays, he's going to take more risk. And that can cause maybe more negative plays, because you're in the middle of the play. Like, you missing a block will ruin the play every time. Like, that's another thing people understand about offensive line, especially centers. Like, you have to be right or at least decent every time.
So it's safe to say that Jason Kelce coaching him for a year is probably the best case scenario for him.
I'm cool with him not playing this year. Just watch Kelce.
Right.
And I understand it's a hard pill for some people because of the second round pick. I understand that. But you have to realize, like, Howie made a great point in this. And this is, once again, maybe just people undervaluing the interior. But y'all, we got Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce replaced. That Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce is the reason why we even made it to the playoffs. O-line, D-line last year.
Right.
That's the only reason why. Like,
that's the reason why you won the Super Bowl. You had a top five D line, top five rushing attack.
That's the reason why we've been able to at least say, "Hey, we're consistent.
Right.
We'll show up." one thing we know, our trench is going to show up, and we're going to win ball games because of it. If we want to be able to keep that going, Jason Kelce is not going to play forever.
Right.
Fletcher Cox ain't going to play forever. We got to replace them guys. And I think he did a good job replacing. Now, although we're replacing them, you know what I'm saying? I think him being behind Kelce would be perfect, bro. Exactly like you said. Him being behind Kelce for a year, learning everything would be perfect.
I agree. I agree, man, because it seems like we're going for something this year, and Kelce is the better center anyway.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Kelce, right. So, right, we're trying to go out with a bang. If this is Kelce and Cox's last year, we're trying to go as far as we can go, and that's clear, and that's evident. And I think that's the organization saying a big thank you to those guys. Like, listen, we ain't gonna just have you here riding the pond your last year of your contract. We're gonna go for it while you do us a favor and bring these young guys along for the ride. Bring them along for the ride. Let them get the experience. This is a really good, intriguing pick, and like I said, man, listen, bro, we're going to do this so many more times because a lot of people don't understand the magnitude of the offensive line. And now that we know, when your YouTube channel coming, man?
Very soon, man. Very soon, man. I'm telling you, it's coming very, very soon. I mean, it's in the works right now, man. Y'all gonna hear about it.
Right. And shout out to Gate City, man, for definitely telling me that you was one of them ones. You know what I mean? And shout out to you, man, for being available, man. I know we had to reschedule a couple times, but listen, we locked in now. Everybody gonna be asking for the offensive line, dude. We definitely gonna plug it in, man. So, as soon as your YouTube go live, we definitely gonna be pumping it on the channel, letting people know where to hear great, because you doing all offensive linemen.
Oh man,
you ain't just doing Philadelphia Eagles.
I do. Oh yeah, I'm doing all offensive line. I'm not just doing Philly, but it's even more like it's all little type of things, like even like possible needs. Like there's a guy named Alex Thompson right now for Alex Thompson. He played O-line. I actually played with him, but he also can play tight end. Very, very athletic guy. You don't have to put him on top of the depth chart. Like it's certain things that, like, how I said we need a blocking tight end. What I mean by that is we need a guy that can set the edge consistently. We need maybe even as just a utility guy that maybe he's like 285 pounds, 290. He can play a little bit of guard center, maybe down on the depth chart, or maybe higher up, but he can also get out there, be your extra tackle tight end, an extra lineman out there, get on the second level. Them blocks are so, so important. When I watched the Tampa game a few times, we got to the second level, and some of our tight ends wasn't quite getting there or quite doing the block that they needed to on the linebacker safety. And that trashes the play. The plays that's supposed to be 10-yard gains are 3-yard gains. You see what I'm saying? I
see exactly what you're saying. So maybe, hey, that should be your first video, bro.
Oh yeah,
that's a good joint right there. I'm gonna be tapped in. I was gonna say I'll bring you on. We could talk about that, but I ain't trying to be greedy. That needs to be your first joint, bro. You need to come out with that.
Alex Thompson, nice man. Like, I'll even be putting film. Like Alex Thompson's a great guy to watch. That shows a lot of good film. A guy named Matt Gallis that used to play for Nevada. He's way older now, but it's an old film, man. If you pull up a guy named Matt Gallis, you can look him up on YouTube. When you see the way he play, you can be like, okay, I see what Caleb talking about.
Okay, yeah.
My old college coach coached him. He was an undersized center, probably about 6'1", 285, 290. Boy,
could play.
One of the ones, though.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it really boiled down to, man. Like I said, man, shout out to you. Thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know when everything air, man. The fans going to be on deck, man. We're going to listen. There's going to be a lot of questions, and you the man with the answers, man. So thank y'all for tapping in, man. Shout out to you, Dubb. You already know.
All right.